Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in today. We are back in the sim room at Travis Point and we are going to be working on correcting the inside path. Many of you are outside swingers, but we do have a few players that get stuck on the inside and that can cause just as much trouble as the over-the-top player. One of our assistants here at Travis, Grant Johnson, he's been stuck on the inside a little bit too much over the last season or two. We're gonna talk about the best drills and approaches that he can take, get his path a little more square so he can play his best golf this year. So we're here today in the sim room at Travis Point, and we're working with Grant Johnson, one of our golf professionals here at Travis Point, on his path, specifically his inside path. Grant, like a lot of good players, he gets stuck on the inside. What does that mean? My general rule of thumb is about 3 degrees of variance. So from 0 to 3.0 or thereabouts is what I deem to be the most kind of controllable range of path that a player can play with. Grant, 7.8, is that kind of normal?
Yeah, that's normal for me. Normal for me right now this season.
How high have you been recently?
I've seen it at 11 and 12 from the inside.
We're going to start tackling this problem with what I think is my favorite drill to do this. The results speak for themselves. So Grant, what I want you to do is I want you to take this and just run this right through your front belt loops. What this drill is intended to do is to try to keep the player's arms out in front of them. And this is how it's going to work. Can you make your backswing like you normally would, Grant?
Yep, absolutely.
First things first, Grant gets really flat. His lead arm is actually beneath the level of his shoulder. So when you're swinging down, kind of like in slow motion, Grant, can you kind of like unwind the way you would in a normal swing? Boom, perfect. That's as far as you got to go. So you see, by the time he gets to about hip high, his shaft and the rod that's through his waistline are already intersecting. So this is the key point of reference for trying to get your path more from the outside. Okay, go back down to address now, Grant. And the first thing we're going to do is try to create a little bit more of a vertical path on your backswing. First thing, does that feel weird?
It feels very, very weird.
Okay, so
very weird.
You got to get weird and you got to live in this weird space to make these changes happen. He's actually getting that club out in front of him more and he's able to swing the club more to the left. What we're really going to try to work on doing is, again, handle in, club head out, and then from there we go vertical. And then on the way down, it feels more vertical. Arms work down, and then everything works back around. And then when he does that, as you see how the handle actually swings more out here to the left? That's what swinging left is all about. Now let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's
do
it. All right.
So he is slow.
Super
Grant's
slow.
a fast swinger.
I'm very quick.
His speed is pretty fast, and his tempo is very fast.
Very fast.
Any change you're making, folks, go as slow as you can possibly stomach it, because the slower you can go, the faster your body is able to actually learn where it's at in space, and all the feels that are associated with that can start to be kind of normalized by your body and made permanent if you go slow. Make that backswing we talked about as if you were in slow motion. And up, yep, I like the move of that there. So now we're gonna work our arms down and in front, and then the hips can clear. There you go. So let's do that with 1% more speed, whatever you think that is. Totally arbitrary. Up and down. Beautiful. Now do one more. Totally fluid, no stopping or pausing. Feel that path out. There we go. Footwork is great. All right, folks, the moment of truth. Again, Grant, you're not trying to go your fastest. We're just trying to control this movement. Strike was pretty good.
Didn't hit the best.
Okay, we went from 7.8 to 4.4.
Let's do one more.
That's pretty darn good. So before you hit the next ball, you got to rehearse more. Good rule of thumb is for every ball you hit, make 3 swings. 2 practice swings, and then the real swing. Slower. That was like warp speed. Kanika Minolta, there you go. Slow it down, down in front. All right. We went from 7.8 to 4.4 in one swing.
Let's see
what swing 2 can provide. Sounded pretty solid.
Sounded solid.
2.4. Almost 5.5 degrees of path were changed in 2 golf ball swings.
That's crazy.
What did I say earlier? 3 degrees or less. He's on a 2.4 in 2 swings. Let's see if we can't go to 0. Really feeling that swing going hard left.
I gotta feel like this is going more vertically than me.
Get that club up in the air. Here we go.
All right, we're getting there.
This is why we're doing this. 3 balls.
This is awesome. 3 balls.
3 balls and 6.5 degrees of path. Abracadabra. Because a little bit of magic just happened here. We picked the drill that was right for him, and we're approaching that drill correctly with the patience to have the speed and the understanding where that club needs to go in space. So you can see here Grant's backswing. You see how shallow his lead arm is. You can actually see his shoulder is sticking out above his arm. So when your arms are swinging that low, there's really only one place that you're going to go. And that place, as we'll see here with Grant, as he transitions, look at where the handle goes. He's actually in a position here, I'll back up just a smidge, where as he starts shifting down, the handle is behind him. There's players out here who'd pay gobs of money to get in this position because they're the complete opposite. But having the handle that far behind you, ladies and gentlemen, that's called stuck. And when you're stuck, you end up with 7.8 degrees from the inside path. So this is swing number 1 for Grant. So here we go. 3 whole swings later, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a player now that has a perfect left arm position. You'll see as we start to transition into the downswing, he's creating a lot more space to stay on top of the golf ball than he did before. He started feeling a little bit more vertical on the takeaway, which is absolutely perfect. Now he's in a great position. And naturally, like a lot of good players, his arms drop, but check this out. Just a moment ago, the handle was on top of his right hip pocket. Now you see all the space that's in front of him, and when you create that type of space, it allows you to work more down the line and let that handle start to swing more to the left. Perfect there. And when you do that, you get 1.4 degrees of path from the inside. Now the face angle will be talked about later on, but right now we're working on path because once you create the path, then you create the tendencies with face rotation. If you're new to the channel, please click on that subscribe button below and click on that alert bell so that way you always get an update when I put new material out each week. If you have any comments of your own or questions about your game that I haven't answered, please comment below as well, and I'm happy to try to answer as many questions as I can all season long.